So I had an idea that kind of surged through my system, and sometimes words for me, they flow so beautifully within myself. But when it's time to like grab a camera or something, the artificial intelligence aspect of it slows the words down. Because it also flows well if I'm in conversation. But I digress. I was recognizing, so when you practice yoga and you practice spiritual technologies and tools, you're utilizing these tools not to get stuck in that expression and to live in that world and play in those rhythms forever. Bless me. Ultimately, it's a transformative tool for assistance in your life. And the more you can utilize these tools in practice and not in theory, the greater worth you'll get out of the practices. So, being in practice of having been notoriously someone who held emotion inside of me, and notoriously having been someone who even projected emotion outside of me, not really processing out these emotions, but flash of light. It came to me that some of these tools, right? So like certain tool is like, you are everything, right? And working through the mental and emotional gymnastics of like configuring your vibration, even when you're bumped up against, right? Triggered, as most people call it in this society these days. But in handling your own emotions, not needing to discharge your emotions on someone else, but instead taking it all in, all of the fractals of light, all of the angles of light, all of the dualities and polarities that, in your present moment you may be facing. It may be coming up for you, may be arising for you in some way. Taking those energies, and that's what they really are, and connecting with them. Not ignoring them, not discharging them off on someone else, but connecting with them and utilizing the tool, right, of transformation and alchemy to, and this is how I saw it, and maybe this will help you. If you're aligning with what I'm saying right now, then follow me. So, you're working your magic, your trigger, you're wondering, well, why did this show up in my reality? Why am I feeling what I'm feeling right now? How can I move from this state of emotion and transform the emotional state to one that is, clear? And I saw, right, the projected manifestation of my emotion. And this could be an animal, this could be a best friend, this could be a person. Mostly it's family and friends that we project our emotions onto, but it could be society at large, a newscaster or a celebrity. I don't usually do that because I don't be caring what newscasters and celebrities have to say. But for a lot of people, that is what you feed into, so go with it. Use whatever is coming up in your world, and taking that person in, if it's a person, or maybe it's anything that we are sensing and feeling and holding within ourselves. So taking that energy and tuning it, and I think you have to be pretty clear to do this to a certain degree, like pretty clear in the fact of like everything outside of me lives within me in some way, and that's what I mean by clear. And have a pretty clear heart in the fact of like, I want the best for everyone. So even if someone has bumped up against me, triggered me, right, I'm not trying to get revenge. Ultimately I want reconciliation, or ultimately I want to have a space of like harmony. I want to return to peace, right? We all just want peace, and if somebody disturbs our peace, or we're in a state of constant disturbance of our peace, and we don't know peace because everything outside of us is triggering us, and we never reconcile these triggers within. Well, you got a long journey ahead of you. But in some ways, in your own language, you're probably working through these shadows and these triggers through talk therapy or whatever else you're doing tarot readings and getting the archetypes to communicate with you through some type of a medium. So people are doing these works. They may not be calling it what I'm calling it in this moment, but this is my language and the way I can communicate it. So, nonetheless, going back to this flashbulb instance, I was taking this trigger outside of me that I had projected. It wasn't an internal trigger, but it was definitely resonating in my body, right? And that's what in the past I have been famous for, just like pushing it down and like not dealing with it in the alchemical transformative tools that I have, whether it be doing some yoga or going on a walk or shouting or venting or calling up a friend and getting it out that way, or like processing through it to see where is it arising from, why is it coming up into my awareness, where am I connecting with it, all of that work. Just sort of like, I don't feel good, this feels bad, but eventually this too shall pass. But light bulb moment, I took this projection and visualized, right? Because this is the tool. Visualization is a tool. So I choose to visualize that being as an instrument that just needed tuning, right? So whenever someone is out of alignment with you in some way, don't see them as a monster or bad or evil or all of this. They're out of alignment is what they are, whether it's with you or some bigger thing. It's usually you. Probably always you. But I digress. You take them and put them into alignment, right? And it's most important, as I was, playing their instrument and tuning them and really bringing their vibration and connection into me, and where in my body, it's like if somebody coughs and their germ is now in you. That's nasty, but I'm just saying, it's how this body's work. Taking that germ, right, and like not just feeling the sniffle starting in your throat, but like going back to that air that you breathed in, and like visualizing that air pure, visualizing all the energy in that air is pure and lifted and beautiful. And then, right, you have to go within where the germ is in you. And so I started playing myself and tuning myself, because in order for me to be visited by that vibration of chemical reaction and imbalance, right, that scale, there's something in me that was frequenting in frequency with, in connection with, isolating in alignment with that thing I projected as my trigger, right? So you can take this as a worldview. Oh, the war. Okay, well, let's fine tune, visualize, bringing whatever is warring back into alignment. And now within the self, because you projected the war, you see the war. It is a part of your mental. It's a part of your construct. It is something that you witness in perception. So now going within you, and now you're fine tuning that energy, that germ, that war within, and making you, and I'm coming into breathing, breath work, and I'm opening up my third eye, and I'm allowing the energy to come into alignment and up and down my clear chakras, and I'm just fine tuning myself until I kind of come out of the consciousness of doing this, and now I'm just in an orchestra, and me and the energy, internal and external, are colliding and becoming one frequency, and now I'm just drifting into a different conscious space, and I kind of come out of that, and I just feel light. The energy has been transformed. And it's very interesting, because A lot of the times we have these tools, or we have these fancy sayings, or we have these rituals that we do, or these ceremonies that we perform, and it's pretty performance driven instead of practiced. And so we're not really doing much with these tools. Not really, not in real time. Not when it comes to like really and truly transforming our agitations, our agitated states. Not really and truly invoking these archetypes in the moment to like really be a part of the all and elevate and transform and move and shift our frequency in real time, right? Some people wake up in a bad mood. You need to take a moment. You need to take a beat. You need to breathe, and you need to figure out what are you carrying that makes you wake up in a brand new day, carrying energy into that day like it's not a brand new day. Figure it out, and maybe it's years of trauma that you have to figure out. You know what I'm saying? Some people walk around in a state of consistent trigger. You know, everything is out to get them. And I am people, you know, like when I'm saying people, don't put me on somebody's pedestal. I'm talking about myself too. You know, we walk around in these perpetual states of defensiveness instead of taking a moment, taking a beat, coming within, bringing our energy within, and being present within, you know, with which we can then be present out externally and show up fully and presently with our kids and our family members and our loved ones, and you know, whoever we work with, and whoever we're sharing dinner with, and whoever we're dancing with, whoever may be walking by us on the street. You know, we're not living in a state of disturbance and imbalance. Instead, we are in real time using our practical tools that we are learning to alchemize and transform our energy so that we can discharge the shadow within and we can enlighten it.